Good morning and happy spring. I'm Christina Felchlin, Director of Technology Consulting with Ledgeview Partners. I would like to welcome you to today's Dynamics CRM 365 User Group webinar. For all of our customers joining us today, welcome back. For those not familiar with Ledgeview Partners, we are a business and technology consulting firm and a Microsoft Gold partner. We partner with organizations to transform sales, marketing, and customer service operations and processes that are supported by core technologies, including CRM and marketing automation. To complement your technology solutions, Ledgeview also provides strategic business advice and process definition consulting services that will help advance your business with a focus on sales, marketing, and customer service. First things first, housekeeping. To ensure the best audio quality for all attendees, we have everyone on listen-only mode. If you have a question, please ask it in the question pane of the webinar control menu. I don't believe we'll have time to answer it today, but we will be sure to follow up offline and include it in an upcoming webinar. Just a friendly reminder that today's webinar is being recorded and will be available on demand at the end of this week. All registered attendees will receive an email with an access link to the recording as well as the presentation slides. For today's agenda, our spotlight training topic is advanced finds. We are bringing back one of our most popular topics, and rest assured, Michael has lots of new tips and demos. Michael is going to start off with a look at the options for data analysis, when to use one of these methods and when not to use. Michael will then go through the basic, intermediate, and advanced scenarios with a sprinkling of tips and best practices. He will then go into the pre-submitted questions, and then I will close up the webinar with the dates and future webinars and Ledgeview Partners' newly added resources. Now, to get to today's featured topic, I'll turn over to our Dynamics 365 CRM expert, Michael Dodds, support consultant with Ledgeview Partners.
Thank you, Christina, for that wonderful introduction. I hope everybody is doing well today and survived that first week of March Madness without wanting to shred your bracket like I did. Well, we got a lot of madness to get to today, so let's jump on in. So we're starting off with advanced find, and if any of you have attended my trainings, you have heard this rather corny analogy, but it actually does really apply when it comes to advanced find. If you think of CRM kind of like Walmart. It's huge. There's so many different departments. There's so many different areas, so many different aisles. You kind of walk in there and go, wow, I need pasta. How do I get to that? It's kind of like the data in CRM. You look at it and go, wow, I need to get to accounts. How do I get to that? What we're going to do in advanced find is we're going to show you how you take all that data and filter it down to the information that you want. So if you look at it for Walmart, you go in and looking for wheat pasta. You narrow it down to the specific area, pasta, filter it down further to wheat, and that's your filtering portion. Then once you have these like 20 different wheat pastas that are out there, you want to compare, cholesterol, calories, carbs, all that fun stuff. You want to show those next to each other, right? That's your column portion with an advanced find. So you filter down to the information you want, and then you display the pertinent information that makes the most sense to what you're trying to gather. Yes, a very corny analogy, I completely understand, but it helps to make sense of what advanced find can do for you. So we're going to start off with the data analysis methods, the various methods that are out there. First and foremost, advanced find and views, they're basically the same thing. An advanced find is a non-saved view. So when you do an advanced find, meaning you're not saving it, you're just doing a one-time data set, looking for a set point in time or a date range. If you want to look back at this or you want it to be a dynamic data set, then you really should save it as a view. For a dashboard, these are how you can view items graphically, combine like data sets. If you want the ability to drill down within the chart, if you want to compare charts, dashboards are the way to go. If you want to combine unrelated items or you need the ability to group raw data, you might want to look at a different avenue. Reports, specifically report wizard reports, allowed you to do data in set groupings. You can do numeric values with summation, and you can even do charts and data together, where you could even click on a piece of a chart and get the data that applies to that section of the chart. Really a cool feature built right into CRM. If you're looking for highly customized reports and charts, you want unique logic that requires customization, you're going to look in a different avenue, mostly custom reports. Now, something that recently that was added in as of 2016 was Excel templates. And there's some really cool things that you can do with an Excel template. If you want to create Excel pivot charts and tables, set conditional formatting, set specific columns to export from CRM regardless of the data that you're pulling. So in other words, when you do a search within CRM, you notice how those columns are different than maybe the My Active Accounts columns. That's because it's its own view. Within an Excel template, you set the specific columns that export no matter what view or searching that you've done. And also, if you need to run formulas, you want to add columns based on information that you've exported, and you want all of this done automatically based on the data that you've exported. Excel templates are the right move for you. You can also filter it after the template's been exported, and you can also compare calculated fields using Excel logic. When you're not going to use an Excel template, when you cannot add the fields to the Excel template, you can't add it, you can't get it to Excel to do the logic. When Excel logic can't generate the information that you need, or when a report wizard, dashboard view, or advanced find is going to work. A custom report is really good when you want to distribute a report. You know, it's appealing, it's been prettied up, so to speak. Without utilizing an Excel template, that might be the way to go. Or if it's got logic in there that you need to go with comparison with calculated fields, but you don't want to do it with an Excel template. If you want to do filtering after the report is generated, but in the basics of a report within CRM instead of an Excel, if you want to do customized charts, columns that are not related to the data, or related records with no data, that's some different information that you would want to use in terms of custom reports. So Excel templates was put in there as a way to kind of do a little bit more with getting data out of CRM, so using the power of Excel, but there are still going to be times where custom report is the way to go. You know, formatting is a big part of it if you don't want it to be in Excel. So a prettied up report, not in Excel, you might want to do a custom report. And then when any of the other options are going to work, you want to explore those before you go down the custom report angle. And with an Excel template, it's also a decision. If a report wizard will work or a dashboard will work, but you prefer it to be in Excel, do an Excel template. You don't have to do it in a dashboard or a view if you don't want to. You can do an Excel template. It just requires the setup. All right, now we're going to jump into our scenarios. So we're going to do 3 different scenarios today. First one is our basic scenario. So we are looking at, as a user, an individual user, you want to look at a listing of all the primary contacts for your accounts that are in the transportation or manufacturing industry. And they have over $50,000 in actual opportunity this year. I'm going to show you this with a caveat. The actual opportunities this year that I did is actually a roll-up field that I created. So all I'm doing is showing you how you can grab the roll-up field in your view, not actually setting it up. The columns that you want to display the primary contact's name, their phone number, their email address, the account they're associated to, the industry of the account, and that actual revenue from this year. Okay, so let's jump into CRM and I'll show you how to do that. So right here is our Advanced Find button. Click on Advanced Find. It's going to open up this very familiar setup. Now, if you take anything from this, look for is an exceedingly important piece. Always remember what your end game is. So for us, we are looking for the primary contacts for accounts. Now, we're looking for the primary contacts. Because they're primary contacts, we can actually go right through the account because of that relationship. So if we go to accounts, so look for to accounts, and then when we click on this column, I apologize, my system just wanted to not cooperate with me. Let me close that back and open it back up. So once this loads, again, we'll go to accounts. Once it flips to accounts, we'll click on our select. Now we're adding columns, adding our filtering. So we're going to set the owner to equal current user. Okay, that means it's going to look at whoever is logged in running the view. It's going to bring back all the records owned by that individual. Then we want to take it a step further, and we want to grab the industry. So the industry that we're looking at is, so set it here, industry. We are looking at transportation and manufacturing. So in ours, it's durable manufacturing. Just double click to move it over, and then transportation. Click OK. We're only interested in active accounts. We don't need to know the primary contacts of inactive accounts. So we set status to equal active. Double click to move it over. And then we want the total account actual revenue this year, and we want it to be is greater than or equal to, is greater than or equal to 50,000. Once we have all this set, so now our filtering is done. Now what we want to do is we want to go to edit columns. Now we want to bring back our information that we're going to display. We want to know what's the account name. So we already have account name. Very important thing to do, always check the fields that you have here first instead of trying to go in and look for them, because if they're already on here, you're not going to see them within the add column section. So we've got our account name, we've got the primary contact. We don't need the main phone. We're actually interested in the primary contact's phone. So we're going to click remove, click add columns. Now, see how we're setting the record type of account? We're interested in what are the columns or fields that we want to add from the account section first. The two we want to add are industry and actual revenue. So we're going to scroll down to industry. And I actually should have gone to actual revenue first. So go to actual revenue. Should be right. I have that name slightly different. It's total actual revenue. I apologize. So we'll go to industry, and then we'll go to the next item. So we're going to go to I to industry. And then we're going to bring it down to the total actual revenue this year. Now we're going to flip this, and we want to go to the primary contact. Because a primary contact is a singular lookup, that's why I can go into that contact record, because it knows what information to bring back. So I go to primary contact, and I want to grab their phone number and their email. So now that I'm in primary contact, I'm going to go to business phone, and then email. All I'm doing is check marking these items, clicking OK. If I want to format these in any way, I just click on the column, and then I move it with my arrows. If I want to change the properties, this is in pixels. If you want to make it wider, increase your pixels. If you want to make it narrower, the width of the column, you would do less pixels. Okay. Once you have this set, you click OK. We click results, and then we have our information that comes back right here. Okay. So currently, Widgets Are Us Corporate is the only one that meets this criteria in terms of ones that I personally own. Okay. Now, let's say I love this view, it's great, and I want to save it. I want to view it repeatedly. Okay. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to give it a name. Then you click save, and then where that's going to show, so if we go to accounts, under our drop-down listing, there's demo right here. And that's all you have to do. Here is the filters for this. So if you want to refer back to that later. Now for our first pro tip, Look for is the most important field on the advanced find form. So I touched on this briefly before, but why? Why is it the most important field? Because you're setting what you're looking for, and then this drives your filtering, because you're then filtering by the fields that are on that entity. You're also then looking at the entities related to then do some further filtering. It also will determine your limitations of the one-to-many relationship, meaning I cannot bring over, so if we look at this quiz question, if I'm looking for all the contacts associated with 3 different accounts, what would I set my look for to? A lot of people say accounts because it's saying the 3 different accounts. But the issue, the one-to-many relationship issue is if I try to show, let's say potentially there's 100 contacts for each of these 3 accounts. Just like in Excel, I can't stick 100 different pieces of information into one cell. It's the same concept with advanced find. Because it has the potential to be more than one, it won't allow you to grab columns from something that's on the many side of a one-to-many relationship, or even a many-to-many relationship. Anything that's a many in the relationship, you cannot bring back. Some best practices and tips, there's going to be times that you're going to come up with 0 results. And you know for a fact that there are results in your system. Don't panic. Don't get frustrated at advanced find, because trust me, it can happen. Go back and analyze your filters and columns. It could be that you simply maybe have the wrong column set. You set the filter to does not equal instead of equals. There's many different pieces. So go back and analyze those filters and columns. Remember that related entities have a connection back to the current entity. They're related somehow. So when I say one-to-many relationship, that means like a contact has one account it's associated to. That's done through a lookup. So that's its connection back. Advanced find uses group and logic automatically. Okay, so that means when I set those 2 different, so if I go back here, when I set these 2 different items right here, this is saying the owner equals current user and the total actual revenue is less than 50,000. And I apologize, this should actually say is greater than 50,000, not is less than. But it's saying each of those must be met. So this must be met, and this, and this, and this. Out of the box, it considers each of these to be something that has to be met. So that's why it uses group and logic automatically. So you saw how we added columns from the related primary contact. Let's say I went in and I want to be able to sort by the primary contact's email. I can't sort by it. I cannot sort columns that were from a related entity. You can only sort by columns or fields that are on the entity set in the look for. Another reason why look for is so important. You cannot add a column to advanced find if there isn't a relationship, and if there's a one-to-many or many-to-many relationship, meaning you're on the many side of that relationship. You cannot look to the many side. Okay, I know I've hammered that home, but that is a part that trips a lot of people up, so I like to hammer that home. Now we're going to move on to an intermediate scenario. Our intermediate scenario is, as a marketer, you'd like a listing of all contacts that are in the accounting industry and are a gold level customer. You want to be able to add these customers directly to a marketing list. Okay, and then the columns you want to display are the full name, the email, the phone number, the account they're related to, and the actual revenue from this year. So the column we looked at before on the account form. Okay, so we then have to analyze what is our look for going to be. We're looking for a listing of all the contacts, and it's not the primary contact, it's all contacts. So because of that, we have to look at it from the contact side. So let's jump back into CRM. I'm going to click on our advanced find button. We're going to set our look for to contacts. Okay. And then off of that, we're only interested in contacts that are active. So we're going to do status equals active. Then we're going to look through that lookup field over to the company and filter by the company. So we're going to scroll down. These are all the fields that are on the contact entity. Related, now you're looking at the related entities. We're not going through the primary contact, we're going through the contact. So we want to look at the company name, okay, which is account, okay? So we're looking at that information. And then we're going, okay, the status equals active. Again, only interested in active companies or accounts. Then we're going to say, okay, the industry is accounting. So we're going to go accounting. And then we're going to go, okay, are they a gold level customer? So gold level customer equals yes. By the way, you know how each of these is set as and? This, if I put both of these, this would say it equals yes or no. If it's a 2 option or an option set, anything you select for selected values is an or between them. Okay. So then you click OK. Now we have our filtering set. What this is telling me is show me all active contacts where the associated account is active, its industry is accounting, and they're a gold level customer. That's what I'm looking to bring back. So then the columns that I want to show are the full name, email address, and phone number of my contact. Well, I have full name, I have business phone, so I got 2 of them marked off already. I want to add the email address. So again, I'm on contact. I go down to email. Scroll all the way down, email. And then I go, okay. Now I want to add the account, which I can do from either one. I can do it right from here, and I could do the company name, because that's directly linked. Or you could simply go to the related account and list the account name. If for me, I'm listing the company name directly on the contact. Okay. Then we come through and we do company name account. Let me tell you one thing, because this also trips some people up too. Company name contact, that's because it's a customer type field. You can technically put a contact in this. So when it says company name, choose the one with account. Okay, so now we're looking here. We're going to grab the actual revenue from here as well. So the total actual revenue, so go down to T's. Total actual revenue this year. Click OK. If I want to configure sorting, cannot sort by that total actual revenue. So then I click OK, I get my results. Now let's say I want to add Ivan, Renee, and Scott. I want to add them directly to a marketing list. I would just click here, add to marketing list, choose my marketing list, and then I'm going to add those 3 contacts to it. It's easy as that. And there's your filtering to refer back to. So another pro tip, don't recreate the wheel. If you simply want to make a tweak to the filtering or adjust the columns of the current view, set your look for to the entity, and then right next to that, right across, is a used save view. Set that to the view that you saw before that you want to make a small tweak to, then start making the tweaks, change a filtering, add a column, remove a column. Once you do that, then you just simply save the view. Do a save as, because you cannot edit a system view with advanced find. This must be done through customize a system by a system administrator. Some more best practices and tips: keep your views clean. If there's some that you set that were based on specific dates that are in the past, and you didn't set it up dynamically, remove those because they're out of date. If there's views that you're no longer using, remove them. That way you don't end up having a my view list a mile long, because then you're going to start recreating ones that you might already have. So views can be changed and updated through advanced find. So if you create a personal view and you want to make a change to it, you do that through advanced find. Set default views. So the default view, the first time you come to that entity, what's the view you want to see? Sort your views by up to 2 columns. Sort primarily and then secondarily. That's the way to be very efficient. And be cautious when sharing with others allowing users to assign and delete your views. You spend a lot of hard work on this. You want to still be the owner, and you don't want them to delete it. Now, our advanced scenario, as a sales manager, you want to keep track of your open, high-level, and gold-level customer opportunities that have at least one active quote. High-level opportunities are considered those that are closing in the next 2 months and have an estimated revenue equal to or over $50,000. And then you want to display the following columns. Okay, so let's jump in and set this up. So if we go back to Advanced Find, we're looking at opportunities. So go here, set it to opportunities. And then to start off with, we're looking at a status of equals 1. Or excuse me, of open, I apologize. So we only are interested in open opportunities. Now this is where it gets tricky. So we say they can either be a gold level customer or they have to be closing in the next 2 months, and their revenue must be over $50,000. So that means I have an or and situation. So how we're going to set this up is we're going to go gold level customer. Are they? Yes. This is the gold level customer on the opportunity form, not the account form. Then I want to look at the estimated close date. I'm interested in that closing in the next 2 months, so next X months, where X equals 2. Oops. And then my estimated revenue is greater than or equal to 50,000. So now how I set this is, these need to be grouped as and. So select row. But you might be going, well, they already are and. I'm going to throw in a grouping of or. That's why I have to set these as and first. So these two must be met. So it's not this and this and this and this. It's this, or this. These two together. That's why I have to set it this way. So select row, select group or. Now they're configured together. Now I'm going to look through to quotes. So if I come down to quotes, through the opportunity, I want to look at the status equals active. Now keep in mind, I could have 30 quotes on one opportunity. As long as one of them is active, it will then meet this criteria. Because this is a many side of a relationship, you can still filter by it, just can't display columns. It's going to come through and it's going to say, show me all opportunities that have any quotes that are inactive. Okay. Then we come through and we do edit columns, and we're going to add the topic, and then we're going to remove potential customer. We want estimated revenue. We don't need status reason. And I'm not going to add any columns from quote because I can't, because it's the many side of the relationship. So I'm going to add the account. I'm going to add the account in the industry from the account, which I'll do in just a minute here. I'm going to add the contact on here. Contact. Estimated close date, which I already have. I'm going to add estimated revenue. Oops, I have estimated revenue. I need estimated close date. And then I'm going to see if they're a gold level customer, just to confirm my data. Oops, which I went past. So go to G, gold level customer. Now I'm going to go through to the account that's associated, and I want to show what their industry is. So then I go industry, click OK, and there's all my columns. Click OK, results. There it is. Now I'm going to save this. And then, so that's how easy it is to set those up. And then here's your advanced find filtering to refer back to later. Pro tip number 3, single line of text are difficult to filter by. Okay, the reason why that's so difficult is because users aren't locked into a specific spelling, formatting. They can put it in however they want. So if they misspell it, or if maybe it has ink at the end, some people put in INC, some people put incorporated, some people don't even put it in there. So it can be in many, many different ways put in there. An option set, however, locks you into a certain way of spelling, formatting, etc. Those are easier to filter off of, to bring back records, and also easier to report off of. So just keep in mind, if you use single line of text field, you may not be bringing everything back because some people may put the information in differently. So you may want to use a contains, or if you know there's two different ways they put it in, do single line this field equals this or this. Pro tip number 4, sharing is caring. If you created a view that you feel a coworker or team would benefit from, share it with them. To do that, you just go Save Views, click on the view, click Share, add the user or team here. I'm going to share it with Christina. Click Add, and then set their permissions. When you click Share, it's not actually going to tell her that I shared it with her. You'll have to tell her where to locate it. It's the same place you see it, in My Views. An extra pro tip: if you have a group of users that do common items in CRM, it's not a bad idea to create a team for them. Granted, there can be many scenarios in which this would be a good idea or a bad idea. I'm speaking strictly to advanced find as to why this would be helpful. The reason why is because if you have a new person that comes on board, if you've shared that view with the team, all you have to do is add that member to the team, like you were going to do anyways. Then they automatically have access to those views that you've shared with the team. Some other advanced find results page capabilities that you can do. You can do bulk edit capabilities through Excel spreadsheets. You can export to re-import, do mass unique changes. You can do bulk edit in advanced find, which basically means you make the same exact change to all the records you select. You can create a new record. You can assign. You can share records. You can add them to a marketing list like we did. You can deactivate, activate, and delete records, send direct mail, add the record to a queue, follow or unfollow the record, merge two records together, create a quick campaign, run reports, because reporting you're basically doing, it uses advanced find technology, run workflows, run Excel and Word templates, and check for duplicates. That was a lot of information we just covered. Now we have 2 user-submitted questions. Mike, can you explain to me why Microsoft won't let you finish an advanced find with a negative? For instance, I want to find all customers who do not have something. I can find all leads and contacts that do, but can't seem to end with a negative. So there's good news and bad news to this. Good news, with version 9.0, you can now look for information that's not there at an entity level. So to your specific question, unfortunately, I cannot say show me all contacts that don't have an email address, but I can say show me all accounts that do not have any contacts, or show me all accounts that don't have any opportunities. Okay, I can't do any filtering past this, as you can see at the bottom here. Okay, but the technology has come to this point. So we're hoping in the near future we would see more to this. But that is good news because you could not do that before. How do you create a report in CRM? Great question. We're going to do a quick demo. We're going to do a report that shows all of my open activities that are due this week, and they're grouped by customer and then by activity type. So let's jump into CRM. And we're going to go to reports. So sales, reports. We're going to do a new report. Click here, and then it's going to open up this section, and we're going to choose Report Wizard because that's what you can do out of the box in CRM. So click Report Wizard. We are then going to give this report a name. So start a new report, and then use the language of English. Give it a name. And we're looking at activities. So we're saying, okay, show me all of my activities. So we are going, and that comes in by default. If you don't want to use it, you can simply remove it. So owner equals current user, and we want the activity status to equal open. Okay. So now it's my activities that are open. So then we click next. We're going to do a grouping. So a grouping is simply saying, okay, bring all like records to this group and then group it one more time. So we're going to do a double grouping. So activities, the first one we're going to group by, first item we're going to group by is by customer and then by activity type. Okay, so if we come over here and we do regarding account name. Okay, and then we come through. Now keep in mind that's only going to be affected by ones that are regarding an account. If they're not, they're regarding an opportunity, so on and so forth, not going to work. So that's a piece to keep in mind. So that may be where you're actually more interested in just grouping by, instead of keeping this, you actually want to remove the grouping and maybe just do a grouping by the activity type and then list what it's regarding. So that's another option that you can do. You can do either. So we're going to do activity type. Just keep in mind, I did that on purpose so you could kind of understand the caveat that it's only going to group by accounts that are regarding. Okay, so we do it here, and then we can add a column. Go, okay, show me the activity, show me the regarding section, and then I can come in over here and I can say, okay, also show me the subject, show me the due date, which is right here, and you can add more columns. Then you can click next. Table only, we don't have any summations, so we're not going to be able to do a chart. Click next, click next. It's going to generate a report here. Finish, it's going to create the report so then I can run it. So then I click run report. And then we're going to come up here. It's going to group it by the campaign activity right here. So it's regarding. So if you want to see how this would be affected, if you want to make a change, we want to see how this would be affected if we decided to fully go through with adding that grouping. We just click edit, we move all the way through, and we add that grouping of the regarding an account by the account name. We move that up, we can see how it's affected now. Okay, so that's another really great way when creating reports, is always make sure you do testing to understand exactly what it's going to do to you. Okay, see how account name regarding not specified? So you can do this, but it's just going to group anything that's not an account by not specified, because these are actually going to a contact, an opportunity, etc. Okay, so that's how that would work. And then it shows this information, it's grouping it together for you, and it's going to pull in the regarding, the subject, and the due date.
All right. Thank you, Michael, for once again preparing this great content and the scenarios. I just wanted to let everybody know of our upcoming webinars. We have our next Dynamics 365 user group on Wednesday, April 18th, and the training spotlight topic is going to be sales process. And then again on May 16th for business rules. Plus, I'm trying to get an added bonus topic of voice of the customer added to that session. We appreciate our customers so much, and we want to provide you with the content that we can. We have a dedicated landing page on our website to this user group. The website includes all of our past webinars, plus registration links to the upcoming webinars. Last week, we created an additional resource, which is a Facebook group called Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM Users. Please join our group to get tips, links to upcoming user groups, and all things Dynamics. We also encourage you to ask questions and answer others' questions. Both of the links are located on this slide, and I will have marketing include them on the email with the link to the recording. On behalf of Michael, myself, and all of us at LedgeView, we thank you for taking the time to attend our user group webinar today. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next webinar.